Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast, the show where business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals share their stories, lessons learned, and powerful strategies for building relationships and growing their circle of influence. With Melissa Taylor, your host, each week we'll bring you actionable insights to help you build a better network and a better business. Let's dive in.
We are excited today to have John Bradford with us. Welcome, John.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, you are one of our wonderful sponsors of Network Build Grow. And tell us a little bit about, but you guys do like a gajillion things there at Spurline and Platform Coffee and all the things. So, tell us a little bit about everything you guys do.
Certainly, yeah. So I'm John Bradford. I'm the director of sales for Station West, which is a facility over here in West Charlotte. We provide multiple business opportunities for people. We have Spurline Creative, which is a co-working space. We have Platform Coffee and Kitchen, which is a coffee shop restaurant. And we have Acacia Events, which is venue rental space for special events, with our target being corporate events. So yeah, we get into a lot of it here. We have tenants, so we have a real estate aspect of our business as well. Our owner wasn't able to be here with us today, but he owns 8 businesses
Wow.
in his family. So it's all private owned family business. And so all of us who work with the family perform a variety of duties.
Yeah. Gotta love those family businesses. Well, I love it there. And it's actually the whole kind of campus is called the Union. Is that right? Or is it called Station
So
West?
Station West is the campus,
Mhm.
with the Union being our largest special event facility that's within Station West.
Okay, perfect. And I know that at Network Build Grow, we use the conference room inside Platform Coffee
Yes,
and Kitchen, which is wonderful. And we also use some of the event spaces over in Spurline and the Union. So we love all the spaces.
thank you so much. Yes, we appreciate that. We have 3 boardroom spaces, which are what I call the smallest ones, the 8 to
Mhm.
12 person rooms. And then we have 5 conference room spaces, which are good for up to 50 to 75 people. And then
Mhm.
we have 3 special event spaces. So Platform Coffee After Hours is a
Mhm.
private event space. The Plaza, which is our outdoor space
Mhm.
between the 2 buildings themselves,
Mhm.
and then the Union, which is our largest kind of flagship space, which is 6,000 square feet and can do events up to 600 people.
Yeah, I've been to some events there. You guys do a great job. So,
Thank you so much.
yeah, absolutely. So tell me now, you're not the owner, but you seems to me like you run a lot of the things or you're running around all the time over there, but tell me how you got connected to this.
They were a client of mine. So
Okay.
I've been in the event industry now. This is my 35th year.
Mhm.
Started when I was in high school and have continued on in various ways. So I originally started on the audiovisual production side of things,
Mhm.
doing everything from just general in-house AV for small event stuff. I did that through college and things. Then larger scale events, concerts, and what have you. Um, Continuing on with a production company in Raleigh, North Carolina until 2015. And in 2015, I switched over to what is called the rental market, where I was with a rental company until 2025. When I moved to Charlotte in 2021 after COVID,
Mhm.
with that company, they moved me from the Raleigh office down to Charlotte. The union at Station West was one of my clients, and so I was managing all of their rental needs. Got to know people who worked here, and then in the beginning of this year, the opportunity arose for me. It was a step up. So instead of an account executive like I was at the previous company, I became the director of sales with the here with Station West. So the goal being grow the business, and so that's why I get out and I'm out and about a lot and like to do the networking aspects, like to grow the businesses, and I do cross brand too. So I'm not just doing the event side. I work with platform. I work with Spurline, and
Mhm.
I'm just invested with the family on making the business better and bigger.
That's great. So you kind of segued right into networking. I know that's a big part of your your
It is.
week.
Yes,
How many networking kind of events? I mean, we say that networking isn't an event, it's a lifestyle, but how many actual events do you go to on, say, maybe a weekly or monthly basis?
I'd say I'd average 2 per week.
Okay.
So that, whatever, 8 to 12 a month type of thing. I am a firm believer, and when I first started, the 2 terms were hunter and farmer, were popular terms you heard in the business world as far as sales. Those have gone a little bit more in the archival past, but like I said, I've been doing this for 35 years. So I considered myself a farmer, and farmer is way more about relationships than it is about kind of that hard sale. I've never been a car salesman. I'm not that guy.
Mhm.
I am the guy who wants to know your family. I'm the guy who you want to call a friend, not just call me when you need something. I want to be somebody that we can interact with if I just run into you at the grocery store. And so being part of organizations and helping those organizations succeed, not only my profession succeed, my job succeeding, but I also want the organizations I'm a part of to succeed. And so I like to have that bridge between what I do as my paying job versus also what can I contribute on a service level aspect or a volunteer aspect. So for many years I was involved in special event organizations. There's a couple. One most people have probably heard of called ALEA, which is the International Live Events Association. Another one is called NACE, which is the National Association of Catering and Events, things like that. And I've served on boards and I've served as in volunteer aspects. And all of that is way more relational based than it is just kind of throw a whole bunch of business cards at people and hope somebody hires you to do something.
That's wonderful. I love everything that you just said. And one of the things that I want to touch on is, you mentioned that you do service, volunteer work, build relationships. When you go to new networking events for the first time, because there's probably a lot of our listeners that have either never networked or they're new to networking,
Sure.
right? So when you go to those events, maybe for the first or the second time, you're not looking for a client, you're not looking for a customer, you're looking to build relationships. What's one of the ways or some of the questions or some of the things that you kind of start conversations with, conversation starters that you love to use?
Sure. I would say that sometimes it's, my name's John. I work at Station West. What do you do? So some of it is profession based, and then some of it is standing at the bar with somebody and just cracking up a conversation about, hey, what are you ordering to drink, or what are you getting? Because again, I look at it as relational, right? So I'm not, if I go to an event and I make one contact, I'm happy. I think that's an event's a success. If I can provide somebody more business or we can get a reciprocal relationship going, that is secondary to just making new friends too, in some ways, right?
Mhm.
You obviously have to measure ROI on what you're spending and what you're investing and how much stuff you're going to. But there's so many good ones out there that don't cost a lot of money or don't involve a lot of that. And so it's just your time, it's just your service and building those relationships where I have clients all the time who ask me, hey, I need a photo booth, or hey, or I'm trying to join a new organization. What do you suggest? Or any of those types of conversations. You're not going to get that in a transactional conversation.
Mm-mm.
Somebody who knows me and who knows that I'm more familiar with the networking or the business environment in Charlotte, they're not asking me just because I work here. They're saying, "Hey man, can you help me out?" And that's because we've established a level of trust to where they feel like I can depend on John to give me a straight answer. I can depend on John to whatever, help me sponsor my kids' Girl Scout cookies or something. That's on a whole different level than it is just in transactions, right? And
Yeah.
I know I've beat the dead horse using the car salesman as an example, but some of those are very transactional, and I don't want mine to be that way. I want mine to be relational.
Yeah, well, I can tell that I know several people that know you that have met you either in the chamber or Network Build Grow or different things. And you're just like the guy to know. I mean, everybody just they know you as a person as well as the person that represents the business that you work for. So that's really key. I think that reputation is out there.
Well,
So
thank you.
that's,
I appreciate you saying that. I'd
yeah.
much rather people know me as John versus knowing me as just the sales guy at Station West. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, well, you definitely have that good reputation because reputation is everything in today's world.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely everything. So tell me, when you look at your success from when you were in high school and then you did the, I'll call it the road show with the concerts and doing some AV work and then moving into even the event retail, has networking really provided you and opened all the doors? I mean, obviously the one you have now, networking was a big part of that, but
It was.
just all along the way, was networking a big part of your journey?
Once I got beyond the high school college years, it was. So once
Mhm,
I got into like full-time career mode, I didn't have any family or anyone who when I was in high school and college going, this isn't going to be your career. Like I was a criminal justice major with a political science minor. And nobody thought that I was going to do this. I was just literally doing this as a job because I worked all through high school and college.
mhm,
So to turn it into a career and to start doing that post collegiate development is when I really started learning how important it is to build those relationships, to build the networking aspect of it, because it does help you in your career, but it also helps you personally.
mhm,
So I originally kind of started learning that through educational development conferences to just try to further my education. And there's some of these organizations will have certification programs. And so as I was working my day job an event producer first, and then with the secondary company, it was just called an account executive, but it's all the same thing. I would manage a portfolio of clients and provide services for them.
mhm,
During that whole time, I was continuing education. So, sales techniques, business development, um, particular in the tech world, actual tech
mhm,
certifications, things like that. And I had a certification that was called the Certified Special Event Professional certification for 15 years. That was through ALEA. And ALEA offers one, NACE offers one, and other organizations that aren't just special event industry organizations offer one. All of that to say, you never stop learning, and if you do, I think something's wrong. And so
mhm.
part of my interest has always been how to develop more because I feel like in my industry, it basically boils down to hospitality. It's not necessarily considered the hospitality industry. The special event industry is kind of a tentacle off of hospitality, maybe, but I consider that in service to others is kind of the first and foremost type of thing. And I love that. I love being able to provide people memorable experiences that they're going to think about. So if you do an event right, somebody walks away from that event. It doesn't matter if it's a corporate event or a birthday party or a wedding. If you walk away with that event with fond memories and everything went well, then you can be proud of providing a service to that person.
Right. So it's great that you mentioned industry specific associations because I think a lot of people when they network they always think about their networking for clients and customers and referrals and business partners. But being a part of it, so they go to things like the chamber and network build
Mhm.
grow and things like that where there's mixed industries. But being a member or being involved in your industry association is a form of networking that people should not overlook.
No, it absolutely is. It's like establishing partners with people who can help you grow your business, right?
Mhm.
And so, in some instances, and more so back in the earlier days with me, because I was in, an audiovisual production company is a little bit different than a venue. So, I am now more mass market than I was back then.
Mhm.
But being able to have the growth and development in the special event market itself and being able to network with people who did the same things I did,
Mhm.
then they knew that they could call me for X, Y, and Z, and I knew I could call them for X, Y, and Z when a client had those needs. And that carries forward to today. Obviously, with people love to come here to Station West and utilize our services, and that's great. but they also like to utilize us as a resource because they don't necessarily know. You know, we do 3 or 4 events a week. They do one event every 6 months, maybe. And
Yeah.
so they don't have the same kind of relationship that I have with somebody on the back end. So, hey, John, you know, who can I use to transport people from my hotel to the venue? Who can I use to entertain us in the, you know, in the main space as kind of a networking thing at night or a
Mhm.
reception thing after our conference that day? Having that network built and being able to constantly be meeting new people like that, just again, I serve the client in a different way when I have that solution to provide them versus
Mhm.
if I just said, hey, sorry, you're renting the venue from me, you're on your own with everything else. That wouldn't be the best level of customer service to provide someone.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love all of that. If you network for your business, you already know follow up is everything when it comes to growing relationships and driving success. But here's the thing, most of us want to follow up well, we just get stuck. Staying consistent, keeping it personal, making it stand out, it's hard. That's why I use Net Effect IO. It makes follow up simple, cuts through all the noise, and helps me stay on top of every relationship without dropping the ball. I never miss a follow up, and honestly, my network wouldn't be the same without it. So check it out, neteffect.io. And right now, you can use promo code NBG50 for 50% off of your first month. Neteffect.io, your secret weapon to unforgettable follow up. Okay, so let's do a little bit of rapid fire networking questions. Okay, so put on your
Look,
little networking hat and let's just do this. Okay, what's the best way that you think there is to follow up with someone after you meet them at an event?
I think that if you know, if you can identify their preference, it's to follow up with what they prefer. So if I've seen some people or had people tell me, "Hey, give me a call next week," and I'll make sure I call them.
Mhm.
If they don't give me a preference, I generally will start within 24 hours with an email, and then that email always has a call to action on it because I like to be face to face and more personable. So I always try to push for what is that next step? Hey, can I bring you over to the coffee shop and buy you a cup of coffee? Or hey, can we meet somewhere that you prefer to meet? I prefer the face to face, but always think that it's most important is consistency in your follow up for one thing, and then it's preference on the other person as the secondary part. So if they want you to call them because they don't like to text, or they want you to call them because they don't like emails, then you need to make sure you respond in whatever way that they prefer.
Yeah. Okay, so then after that initial follow up, what's your go to kind of cadence? Like how often do you reach out and just kind of how long do you kind of keep them in your line of sight?
Gotcha. So the first 7 days I feel are important unless they tell me it's not. And so I generally, like I said, my general rule is 24 hours to make sure I follow up from whatever event I was at with whomever I met. After that, there is a call to action in that follow up. And if their response to me is, hey, I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii, let's catch up in a month, then that's okay. I just need to make a note on my end to make sure that after a month's happened that I don't forget about it. Or it's the next 7 days, right? So if I follow up within 24 hours and there's a call to action of, hey, let me know if we can meet to talk about just getting to know one another better. I want that to be as soon as possible, just so I'm memorable to people and just so they're memorable to me. And then let them dictate the rest of it.
Mhm. Okay, that's wonderful. I love that. So when you say that you make yourself a note, do you use a system? Do you have use notebooks, a spreadsheet, a digital system, a digital Rolodex? Like what's your go-to process?
My go-to right now is, so we have a what I would call, it's a POS system. So it's a point of sale system that serves kind of like a CRM.
Mhm.
So I want everything in there as fast as possible, just because it's kind of the backbone of our organization. When it comes just personally, it's the calendar. Like I even joke with my family about, look, you have to invite me to stuff, or else it may not hit my. I like if you enter something on the family calendar but you don't invite me to it, don't expect me or hold me accountable, because I have to be accepting it. So then it gets on all of my other calendars, because unfortunately there's 2 or 3 of them.
Wow. You're a busy guy.
I don't consider it big. I just consider it. I know how you are. I don't consider myself any close to you. So
Oh, well, there you go. As long as we stay organized, we're good, right?
that's right.
Okay, so just one last final thing, and then I'll let you go. Give me your best piece of advice for 35 years of networking or whatever it's been. What's your best piece of advice for somebody getting started, or someone who's not seen a lot of return on their investment of time with networking? Just
Hmm.
something good for them, some nugget.
Yeah, just the main nugget is just be genuine. Just there's no reason to try to sell yourself short or sell yourself high. It's just be genuine. And if people need or want and you're in the right place, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. So being honest with someone and being genuine with someone is by far, in my mind, the most important thing. And then if you're not getting a good return, the best thing I would say is evaluate if you're at the right spot. Um,
Mhm.
because there's some networking groups that I don't need to go to and need to be a part of, because it's not triggering what I can provide for them. So, you know, that's an evaluation is always important.
Mhm. I tell people that all the time. You have to evaluate not only your own behavior, because that's the first thing. You could be in a room full of the exact right ideal clients and still not get any return,
That's
right?
correct.
So you have to first obviously evaluate you and how you're showing up, and then the group as a whole and kind of what's in alignment with what you can and can't provide, and if they are in need of those types of things. So
Sure.
good points. Good points. So just, just in closing, I just want to say that we appreciate your sponsorship for Network Build Grow. We love using this space at Platform Coffee and Spurline, and I think you call that the middle area, the crossing. Is that what you call that
Man,
middle
right.
area?
Right.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Just the vibe, and it's just that industrial feel, which we just love. And we are just looking forward to a long and happy partnership.
Well, we appreciate y'all so much. We love having you here. And thanks for having me on the podcast.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Network Build Grow podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow entrepreneur or professional. And of course, if you're not yet part of our community, visit networkbuildgrow.com to connect with us. Until next time, keep building and keep growing.